so how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. We're doing pretty good. Oh, my daughter says she's doing well. You doing well, sweetie? Yeah, she's doing well. All right, so we are going to actually take a look at this Gigapan once again. We've already done one video on it, and I'll show you what we did before a little bit. But this is a Gigapan by Neville Thompson. By the way, the one I always forget to mention is Keith Laney. He does some great Gigapans too, and we may get into some of those pretty soon. I looked at a few of them, and I need to get into more of his Gigapans, but I always remember Neville Thompson, Neil Spence, and Joe White, because those are the three that I use a lot. But Keith Laney does some pretty good ones too. So just in case I forget to say that. So we're going to get into this one now. Chris went into this in a live chat the other day. In about the second half of the live chat, he went over this one again. Now, he already did a video on this also, and did a really good job of bringing some stuff out. And what we do, of course, is we try to model those things that are found by him and other researchers to show you what these might look like. And so we're going to get into this one that we actually did a video on, and we were focused a lot in this area right here. This is where Chris had found that staircase, and I'm going to go ahead and full screen this. Alright, and this is what he believed was a staircase, and there's a piece of a wall. If you see, this wall is perpendicular to this piece here. If you're looking at this from a front-on view, like facing this way towards the stairs, this would actually be perpendicular to you, and it actually divides this almost exactly in the middle. I mean, I don't know how close to the middle we get from this perspective. It looks pretty darn close to the center. So this wall right here is actually dividing this down the middle. It's got some holes in it. We can see those holes. Okay, so we got into this a good bit in the last video, but as I always say, if we get time, we will always get into these even more. One thing that Joe White pointed out in his videos was these lines going across. These are all very rectangular shape, and if you look into this real close, you can see the groove line where this was actually carved out by something. So I don't know if this was a structure, which Joe said that it looked like the foundation for a structure, and it very well could be. Maybe there's even a piece of a wall right here, because this is actually still sticking up. This is sticking up vertically. All right, and you can see how it's dilapidated and stuff. All right, but there's that right there. We got into the staircase. What I didn't have time to get into, what, sweetie? I'm recording. All right, I'll be out in a little bit. What we didn't get time to get into, which I wanted to, was this piece here, which I plan on getting to this week. And yeah, Buzz is up there. And then there's another piece right here, which I actually cut off in the original image that I snipped, was this piece. Excuse me. Right here. Now this thing, this is sitting up vertically this way. But in the middle of this, you can get an idea. It kind of looks like a giant spine from some sort of creature with these pieces that still stick up. Of course, they're eroded. All right, sweetie. But there's actually a piece like vertebrae that goes to the middle. Now this is space underneath. There's actually space between the bottom of this and the ground, and you can see through it. And whatever it is pretty long, as you see. And then it's got all these little pieces that come up. So I don't know what that is exactly, but we're going to get into that in the video. Some other, just real quick, some other things that I pointed out in the previous video, and I will try to leave a link, is this what looks like a cabinet right here. Alright, this looks like some sort of cabinet. Now this is laying over on its side, but if it were sitting up, this would be the top. These are your legs going down. Okay, you've got two on this side. I would imagine there'd be two on that side. But in the enhanced image, you can definitely see this is a door with a rounded end on it, so it would be shaped like this. It would come up, and then towards the middle right here, it would actually curve around, and it looks like there'd be two pieces that would close like this. Can you see that? Yeah, like this, like cabinet doors. All right, and you kind of see inside a little bit. Can't get any detail, but this seems to have legs on it. All right, now this is part of a rock behind it, but the leg comes down to here and ends right about here, and this one is probably in the mud. There's actually a rock or something right here that's covering the very bottom of this, so we can't see it, but it looks like that it possibly sticks out right here, and it looks like it's sitting in front of this rock here. So we got into that. Some other things that we got into was over on the right hand side of this, and then I'm going to point out something that I really think is very interesting, that I didn't even notice in the last video, but I noticed it in this one. But we have what looks like some sort of round disc, maybe a flying saucer, I don't know. It looks like one of those 1950s era flying saucers sticking up on its side instead of it, you know, if a flying saucer flew this way, this is actually sitting up on the side. This would be the top, and this would be the bottom of it. And you can see it's rounded. It's definitely cylindrical shape, and it's facing pretty much towards you, although a little bit at an angle to the going off. The front would be going off just a little bit to the left. But that looks like a flying saucer. Another thing we got into in the last video was the piece that's over here. Let me get to it. There it is. And this looks like, you know, some sort of generator or something. You got this round cylinder right here. Once again, this time the profile is facing you, but a little bit coming a little bit to your right. Looks like it's got this big pendulum looking arm sticking up, and then one down, although the one at the bottom seems to be broken off. And then you can see the spindle or whatever in the middle. There's a round cylinder that's hollow in the middle of this piece. Alright, you can see that. So we did that. We did this metal piece right here, and this definitely looks like a metal piece. And we went into all of these. Alright, and there's so much more in this image. I mean, we have this piece over here, which I think Chris mentioned this piece in his live chat. I don't remember if we modeled this piece, but we definitely modeled, where is it? It looked like an engine sitting there. Might be to the right. Of course I won't find it now that I'm looking for it. It was in this area somewhere. I won't find it now. But if you check out the last video, I know I have it in there. Alright, there's so much stuff in this thing. This is an incredible image. Maybe this was it. Yeah, this was it right here. And when I clean this up, you can definitely see the definition in it. And this looks like where the oil pan would be. There's actually round like pulleys or something with these rods sticking out. And when I cleaned up the image in the last video, and I will leave a link, you can see this a lot better. And then of course in the model you get an idea what it looks like. Now when we model stuff, obviously we are taking guesses, but we are trying to show you what these look like. But here's what I want to point out for tonight's video. And like I say, this is just to show you what we're looking at. Now a lot of people are talking about it looks like carvings in some of these, and I think I pointed that out on one of mine. But it looked like somebody etched some stuff into these hillsides, and I did bring out some of that in some images. They look like letters carved into it. Where did I see those? Are those here? Let me move closer. No, but somewhere it looks like etchings and stuff. And I did show that in the one of the previous videos. I did a couple on this. But here's what we want to look at tonight. Now hopefully I find this thing somewhere here in the middle. And I'm going to show you what this looks like, because I've already cleaned up this part of the image, getting ready to model that. And then there's some stuff on that left side of the image that we want to look at. Where are you? I probably won't find them now that I'm looking for them, but we're going to try. If not, I'll just show you in the image itself that I snipped. There's definitely some cool stuff in here, no matter how you look at it, that just doesn't look natural. There he is, right here. Got my cursor right on him. Now, it's hard to see until I show you the cleaned up image, but this is some sort of oval shape, and if you follow the lines up, you can see the shape of this. Okay, that's all the bottom, and then this actually runs across the top of the object, and this ridge line right here is the center of the object, and then you have the left side of it right here. Now I'm going to show you what my cleanup of it looks like, and here we go. Okay, so all I did, this is still the original image. I cleaned it up a little bit, and then I adjusted the colors a little bit so we could see this guy a little better. But take a look at this shape of this thing. This thing is pretty cool. I'll tell you what I think it looks like, and you might agree or disagree, but it definitely doesn't look like some sort of natural object, okay, like a rock or something like that. So this is what I think this is, and it looks like a giant, and this thing would be huge, but a horseshoe crab. See the ridge line here, see the ridge line here, and there would be one on the other side of it, and then you have the back side of the crab, which is about from here down. This is a horseshoe crab. Now we don't see the tail in this image. Well, in this image we do, but in the Mars image. Now, once again, horseshoe crabs are not very big. Okay, but this thing would be huge. Excuse me. And I think that's what we're looking at. That has the same shape. Very, very, very similar shape. This ridge line runs up the middle right here. Okay, and this would be about the middle, and it curves up and it starts to curve off at the end, and then you have the back side of what would be the crab. If he had his tail on, if this one had a tail, it would be coming back like over here. But that's what I think that looks like, is a giant horseshoe crab. Now, maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else. But does it look like a regular rock? I don't think so. So that's what we're going to get into this week. And there's more, like I say. There's just more stuff all throughout this image. You can't hardly go anywhere in this image and not see something. But there he is, and I'm going to zoom out so you can see about where he is, so you can look at this for yourself and see. Alright, so I'm going to try to keep my pin right on him. There you go. So just left just left of the very center of this, and then the staircase and the other stuff is sitting over here. And Chris did point out, there we go, that there was even these rocks didn't look natural. Now I'm not sure. Now I've seen some rocks that have these layers like this, because rocks are not always made of the same material all the way through, and these could have got pushed up from underneath when the cataclysm hit. Now we're not talking about the nuclear cataclysm. We're talking about the meteorite that hit Mars. Now, there was a nuclear catastrophe, and that did some damage. And I don't know if that came before the huge meteorite impact or afterward, but it seems that Mars suffered several catastrophes. All right, so this is a staircase over here. These are what look like some sort of either layered rock or something. All right, and it could be. This could be all natural rock right here. All right, but it's definitely layers, and they're pretty evenly spaced. So, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know, but these over here do not look like just rocks. These over here actually look like some sort of vertebrae from the spine of a creature. And then, of course, it's all highly eroded, but we can see that this is sitting in front of all this stuff back here. This actually sticks up. See the shadowing? See how much in front it is here? You can go by shadows to kind of get an idea where things are located. So this is definitely behind it. This little piece of wall or whatever, and this does look like what's left of a wall, is behind it. So maybe this was some sort of statue or something. But either way, it's got this piece that comes through, and it curves a little bit and comes back down, like you would think the spine of a dinosaur or some sort of large creature would be. And this is pretty large. And then there's our cabinet. And once again, there's more stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff in here that just, it just doesn't make sense. At least for if it's supposed to be natural. So this is definitely a destroyed area, and we're going to get into this. Okay, sweetie. We're going to get into this a lot more. Hopefully, quiet. Thank you. So we're going to definitely get into this a lot more this week, and see what we can bring out. Oh, and by the way, up against this, whatever it is, there seem to be these. This looks like concrete, like rendered concrete walls and stuff through here. And this is the same material apparently as the steps were. All right. So where did my steps go? Over here. That piece that's over here looks like the same material that this is right here. All right. It looks exactly the same material. So if this isn't natural, then I would put money on that this is not natural either. All right. So there you go, and you can actually see pieces of it. This is, you're looking at the inside right here. This is the outside, and this would be the inside piece. You're looking into what looks like a hollow piece, and you can see holes in it here. All right. So there we go. That's what we're going to look at. You guys take care of yourselves. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully I can get this out in the next couple of days. Take care of yourselves, and we shall see you on the next video.